So as I said earlier, we looked at the arrays, we looked at the array list, we saw their functionalities and what they could be used for. So for this class, we'll look at what they refer to as a set. And the sets, we've used them in maths, so there's no need explaining much on that. Java, however, provides three classes of the set. We are not going to treat all of them. We only look at the basic one, which is what they refer to as the hash set. The students are advised to go learn on the other one. So we also have what they refer to as a linked hash set and a tree set. Learn on them on your own. So we know in maths that when we have a set, the set is supposed to take only unique items. We don't expect to see duplicates in our set. In Java 2 is the same. When we have a set, there are no duplicate items at all in the set. My audio is breaking again. Okay, this is where I am. In the set, we expect the element not to be duplicated. So for example, if we have a set of numbers and we have 1, 3, and 4, we cannot add another 4 to the set. So if the elements in our set, we have E, subscript 1, and E2, that's 0. Your brother is making noise. We don't expect E1 and E2 to be the same, just as we learned in the maths how sets work. So we would look at the hash set, we'll look at how they can be created, how they can be used, and we'll try our hands on some few practicals. So when we are using the hash set, we are intending to create a container or a data structure that will store duplicate-free elements of the same type. So if you are dealing with integers, you only store integers. If you are dealing with string, you only store string. So the reason we need to understand the set is because in some part of our programming, we may be dealing with intersection, union, or subtraction of sets, which are mathematical processes which we would one day be using. So if we want to declare a hash set in Java, the syntax basically is set. What type of element do we want to store in our hash set? After declaring the type, whether we want to use a string, an integer, a boolean, a double, we give it a name. So this is a reference name we'll be calling if we want to access the content in our hash set. Then we add the name hash set, and again the element type we want in there. So for example, if we want to store student names are strings, they are not integers, so we need to create a set of string. So if we type set string student names and we complete it, what that means is create a set called student names, inside which we can add the names of our students in the class. Are we okay with it? We'll play with the particles, so we'll be fine. So if we create our set of students, we want to add the names of the students to that set. We use the method .add to simply add an item to the set. So the .add will add one item at a time. So if we want to add just an item, one element at a time, we use the name of the set .add. But if again we want to add another set to another, for example, we want to find the union of a set, then we'll use the .add all. So student names .add all will add all the content in student all names into the student name. But when we use student names .add John, it's only going to add John into student names. When we are doing the addition, that is the add all, we have to ensure that the two sets are of the same type. We cannot add a set of integers into a set of string. Are we okay with that? The rest are not typing. All right. Okay. What's your question? If you want to ask a question, you can unmute yourself and talk. I said they have to be of the same type. We cannot add a set of integers to a set of strings. If we are using the add all, Samuelis, are you okay now? So there's no loophole there. So we also have methods that we can use to remove elements from sets. So if we want to remove an item at a time, we use the dot remove. Dot remove will only remove a particular item or a particular element from a set. If that item is not present, it's not going to throw an exception. It's just going to try to remove it. It's not found. Nothing happens. Are we okay? If we want to remove another set from another, then we use remove all. And similar to the add all, the two sets have to be of the same type. For example, student name is a set of string. So we can remove student all names from it, provided the student all names is also a set of string. If they are of different types, we cannot use the remove all. Are we okay? Okay. So we keep going. So we have our hash set. So multiple people are typing. Let's see what they have to say. Remove all. Remove is in small. It's only the all that the A is capital. It's only this one that is capital. We'll play with we'll do some practicals on it. So don't be worried. So if we have our set, we can just use the system.out.println and the name of the set to display for us the content that we have in our set. So we also have some set operations. For example, if we want to find the union of two sets, set A and set B, we use A.addAll B. So when we use A.addAll B, it will take all the content in B and put them in A. B will remain what it previously was. Are we okay with the union? So with regards to the intersection, if we want to find the intersection between two sets, again A and B, we use retain all. And when we use the retain all, A dot retain all B, it looks for the items that are in A and also in B. Find the common ones and leave them only in A. So A content will change. B will still remain what it was. But A will only have the contents that are found in both A and B. And we also have what they refer to as the set subtraction, where you want to take the content of one set from another. So assuming set A has, let's say, 1, 2, 4. We can remove the content of B, which happens to be 1 and 2, or let's say 1 and 4. I'm struggling to write 2. So if we use A dot remove all B, in the end, A will only have 2 remaining. Are we okay with that? All right. So we'll do some little practicals with regards to the set. Okay. So I want us to create a new Java class which we will use for our practicals. So we are assuming we are creating a class file called sets and maps. And we play with the hash set. So we want to look at how we will be able to create a set. So there are various ways we can create our sets. You know that the syntax is to say set, what do we want to store in our set? So assuming we want a set of strings, and what name do we want to give to our set? So we call it student name. And we create it as a new set. And it is of the type string. So this will create a hash set called student name that will store only string. But we can see that there are some lines or some errors. So that's because we've not imported the hash set and the set utility. So we just click on import and import as well. So that's one of the ways we can create sets. Another way we can create a set is to say set, assuming we want to create another set of string, and we call it old names. New hash set, and we are done. So you see that this, we've not specified what we are going to, the type of it. But because we've already specified it here, it takes it that we want to store string in it. So let's just create some sets which we will be playing with. So assuming I want to create an integer set, which I'll call set A. To store integers for me. So I'm going to create another one. After that, I'll copy and paste. I hope you guys are following. You're also practicing it on your computers. So we are just going to copy this one. We'll use them later. And we call this one C. F. So we use them later to store integers. So when we create a set, there are some few things we can do with a set. So if we use the set of student name, we would be able to tell what we can do with a set of student name. So we simply type student names dot. And as we can see, we would be able to add an item. We would be able to add all, that is a collection of another set. We would be able to clear all the content in it. We'll be able to find out if this set contains an item. We would be able to find out if it contains another set. Or we can use the equals to find out some other things on it. We can find out if the set is empty. We can remove an item, remove all, retain, find the size, and we can do conversions to an array if we want. So first of all, we want to see if our set is empty. So we simply just for example, if I want to find out if the set is empty or not, I'll simply just say student name dot is empty. Now if I run it, I expect it to return either true or false. So we can see there's a true saying that our set student name is empty. So we can add content to our set and check again if it is empty or not and what we would be able to do with it. So if we want to add one content or one element at a time, we use the dot add. So assuming in our class we want to add some names, so we say student names dot add. So because the student name is a string, we need to surround it with a double quotation. So for example, if our student name contains, we want to add name for the set of students, we can do that. Then we want to add another name. For example, let's say we want to add Felicity, and we add another name. Now let's say we want to add Samuelis. Now we can check to see if the student name is empty. So I'll comment it out and check. If I run it, it should tell me false. We want to see the content in our set. How do we do that? We simply print out the student name. So we simply say system.out.print line, and we mention the set we want to print. So when we do that and we run, we should get the names printed out. So we have Samuelis, Felicity, and me. These are interesting names we can use. So assuming we want to add content to the old names, so we just want to add one name to it. So we go and we add old names. And what name do you suggest we add? So I think Evelyn is a nice name. We can add that. Felicity, you're threatening me. I'll be locked out again. Don't worry, I'll be there. So we are done with the addition. Okay, let's add another name to the old names. Let's add Raymond. So we have Evelyn and Raymond in the set of all names. And we have me, Felicity, and Samuelis in the student names. If we want to add content, add one set to another, what do? We learn that we can use the name dot add all.